And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Moondance ESL, we have El Patito himself, one of our very own, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is the American Terran. It is Dolan. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Moondance ESL, we have his opponent, a player who is already warmed up, who just took down a Terran of his own. It is the American Zerg. It is CalebAracous. I see a tapia in the chat. Dolan, the ugly duckling growing into a swan. Yes, papi, yes. Let's go. He's the last one, papi. I believe, papi. I believe in him. Ah. Also, shout out to iScar in the chat. Eduardo. I don't know if that's what it stands for, but shout out to iScar in the chat. He is the admin for today's lovely qualifier. So, without iScar, none of this would be possible. So thank you so much, iScar, for everything that you do, for the work that you do here for ESL. We are better off for it. Gracias, papi, gracias. Fala galera. Fala galera. As we are getting into our first game, and so far so good. Dolan is going for a little bit of an SCV scout, a bit of an interesting move here. Once again, Caleb does allow Moondance into the through the vetoes, so because of that, I do think that Dolan is going to have an easier time getting into 3 bases and avoiding any kind of aggression and Ling run bys early on in the early to mid game. But we saw that Caleb wasn't really that kind of player. Maybe it was because he was playing against the Riddler, but it did feel like he was more of the defend on 4 bases, get up to 80 to 90 drones, and then be the aggressor after just like weathering the storm. We saw that he was struggling to weather that storm against the Riddler in game 2, but the Riddler also went for this weird mass mind style, a style that I don't believe Dolan is going to whip out. Meanwhile, the SCV scout was just to confirm that it was a hatch first opener, so just Dolan just making sure he doesn't get cheesed or anything crazy like that. His Reaper is going to get across the map, try and target down as many of these drones as possible. Oh, so far the micro is good enough, and he will not get a worker. Forces 2 spores though. So a little bit of lost buy-in time there, a little bit of an inefficient trade here, as we will have to cancel some of these spores. Not bad damage here, but he isn't able to slow down that third, as the third is thrown down at that triangular location. Meanwhile, back at home, we do see a 1-1 opener. Oh my god, Dolan with his greed, because we're on Moondance, he goes for his factory and goes for that CC straight away on location in the pocket. The power of Moondance. Oh. So yeah, Dolan is going to be that much more greedier here, going into his 1-1-1. From here, he's got some options. We have seen 3cc, or these like 3cc builds with a 1-1-1 into a Banshee, just to apply some pressure, just to be aggressive across the map and check your opponent. Or we could be going into something else. I'm interested because we don't have a tech lab on this Rax. We're not seeing an add-on switch, which is a bit odd. We're going to see a manual tech lab on the starport. I am curious, as for the time being, the Reaper is slipping into the main base, going to be able to, again, pick off whatever he can. I believe that was 1 drone, actually. Yeah, 1 drone. Reaper goes down in the end, but the Reaper did dive in, and this is what I was worried about. Usually, if there is no add-on switch, and if we have a tech lab manually being built on the starport, that is because we are going into a fusion core. Dolan opening up with BC. Disgusting. I mean, it's beautiful. It's amazing. He's a Duckling. I have to support him. Oh, God. But yeah, Dolan just making sure that there isn't going to be any kind of roach timing, just confirming the gas count here for his opponent and that there was no roach warren. Meanwhile, ooh, a very nice catch here from Caleb. Does end up getting 2 Hellions in the middle of the map, and he's going in for a bit of a scout. The Overlord is going to confirm the 1-1-1. He spots the Banshee on the way with a oh my god, with that cloak being researched. But that cloak is a fake, as there is a fusion core, and this is going to get scouted as well. Caleb with a great scout here, seeing everything in the main, and he will be able to prepare. Spores are on the way, queens are on the way. Looking at the queen count, we have 5, we have 6. We are lacking a little bit in queens, but we should have the ideal number of 8 by the time the BC comes across the map. Meanwhile, I do apologize. I'm getting a little bit of like latency issues here. Hopefully nothing too serious. Let me just quickly see here. Do I have anything that I can close? Yeah. I do apologize, as I do have. I think it's because I'm I'm on US East. Ugh, not ideal here for an Australian person, Australian player even. But we do see that this is not going to be going into mech, by the way, which is quite a common transition from BC. We are going into bio, thankfully. Caleb is a little bit in the dark to this. He did see the tech lab on the racks earlier, so hopefully he can piece 2 and 2 together. As we do see back at home, Caleb did end up throwing down a safety Roach Warren. He's working on 1-1, and he is working on that Spire. Meanwhile, the first BC teleports across the map. We have 2 spores. We got a queen. Yeah, and this BC isn't going to find too much damage at all. Only 2 drones going down. Clutch transfuse there towards the end. The BC does survive, don't get me wrong, and it will be able to live to fight another day. Maybe even pick off a queen here or there. But it hasn't really paid for itself yet. Like, 2 drones is not ideal. He did at least force spores, at least. Meanwhile, back at home, we got 1-1 on the way. Stim has been researched. We don't have combat shields yet. It is a little bit late here, as, ooh, Dolan is throwing down 3 more Raxes. 8 racks, 3 CC. This is very aggressive, very committed, as the BC almost goes down the middle of the map. Typically, we see maybe 6 Raxes into a 4th base, but with the commitment into 8s, we are going to need Caleb to take this seriously. He hasn't scouted this yet. He doesn't know how aggressive Dolan is about to be. At the same time, though, I worry because Dolan... There we go. Okay. There we go. We do have combat shields on the way. Now, thankfully, Caleb is kind of recognizing this. He has droned up to 65, and only 65. From here, he's making nothing but Link Bane, and I think this is the right call. Ideally, you don't want to drone up further than around 70 drones when you go up against this style, just because if you drone up too much, you won't have enough lava to sustain your Link Bane. Here he goes. Dolan is pushing out into the center of the map, just clearing up as much creep as possible. Caleb going to be taking up even further. 12 drones and an infestation pit. So there is going to be a moment here. There is going to be a time where Caleb isn't going to have the most or the largest army. Link Bane is going to rush on forward. The tank is going to get a lot of volleys off with the slow Banes. Ooh, do not find the connections they need. Baneling speed is still on the way. Caleb just droned up. We need an army, Papi, and we don't have it. Queens, though, are going to be able to hold on to the line, hold the line, as well as these Ravagers. Going to be able to slow this down long enough for Lynx to reinforce. Tanks push on forward. BC going ham here. Now is the moment for Dolan. Again, with no Banelings, this is ideal. We need more Banelings to be morphed in here for Caleb. There we go. 6-5 on the way. But it may just be too late. The Ravagers get focused down one after the other. There are only Queens to hold on. The Banelings, are they going to finish? It looks like they will. Oh my god. Oh no! We see a stim on forward, but the Banelings, they just finished up. It doesn't matter anyway. GG gets called, and Dolan takes the first game. Caleb being punished for not going back into the main base, for not scouting the production. And because he didn't, he droned up too much, and he teched up too quickly. Ooh, GG. Yeah, mate. 8 Raxes, you gotta take it. I know from experience. You gotta take it seriously, puppy. Again, it did just come down to Caleb's lack of scouting. I'm sure that if he did get into the main base, he would have seen it, he would have recognized it, and he would have responded. He was just playing in the dark. He didn't make an overseer. He didn't go back into the main. So he was just blindly assuming that he would be safe, blindly going into his 5th base, his infestation pit, his Hydroden, his tech, his upgrades. And with that, GG, Dolan will take a lead in this series. Can he close it out? I believe, Papi. I believe. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Inside and Out ESL, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Hailing from the land of the Americas, it is Dolan. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Inside and Out ESL, we have the American Zerg player. Representing himself, currently down in the series, it is CalebAracous. Now, as we get into this game, I want to give a special shout out to Tapo in the chat. Thank you so much for dropping by, puppy. If you want to see more of Tapo, aka, I think some people call him Tavo, he will be playing in the Latin American qualifier tomorrow. The final Latin American Open Qualifier. So he will need your help. He will need your support. Be sure you're there because we will be there to cover his run. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Oh. As we're still continuing on in this game. Again, because of the power of Moondance, Dolan was able to ramp up real quick into his 3-base economy. Oh, but things will be a little bit different here on Inside and Out. It is a relatively short rush distance to get across the map. You know, it's shorter than Tropical Sacrifice, for example, or even Cosmic Sapphire, to name 2. But at the same time, we don't have those pocket bases. We can't be anywhere near as greedy as we can on Stargazers or Moondance, for example. So Caleb, I want to believe he will have a better chance here, a better opportunity. As he goes for a Hatch Gas Pool opener, Dolan once again just going for a bit of an SCV scout and confirming that it is not a pool first. That's all he really cares about. He's not going to be cheeky. He's not going to keep that SCV here at any of the third base locations to like be annoying or slow anything down. Like, he doesn't really care too much about that. He just wants to be safe. And safe he will. Meanwhile, the Reaper is going to be moving out. The drone is going to be hiding here on the left-hand side, so Caleb will get his third up and running. The Reaper, again, not too concerned with that. He just wants some drone kills or some links. As he does dance between the mineral patches here, it looks like he's going to rotate around. And can he get a drone? Up! Up! Ooh, he barely will not. Just forcing a gas geyser here out of Caleb. Does soften up a lot of these drones, but with the help of this Queen, this Reaper shouldn't get too much more damage. He gets a Ling though. It's something. It's something. Meanwhile, once again, just a different opener from Dolan. If you remember, last game he went for a 3cc before Starport opener. This game, Dolan is going for a straight up 1-1-1. The Reaper dipping in, confirming that there is in fact a third base, so it's not going to be a 2-base all-in. I'm sure later on Dolan will want to dive into the main base and confirm that there is no fast Roach Warren, that there is no fast gas or anything crazy like that. Meanwhile, when it comes to this 1-1-1, Dolan is going for that tech lab on the racks, and he is looking to go for an add-on swap. This time looking to... Oh my... Never mind. Excuse me? Dolan going for an add-on swap, but making a Liberator? Huh. What? This is weird because, like, this just means that Dolan can't work on Stim. I don't know if this is intentional here, as... yeah. We're going to be seeing commitment into these Hellions, so it's going to be a Hellion Liberator kind of push here from Dolan. A little bit of multi-prong harassment. Meanwhile, we have a tech lab on the way here on this rack. So what are we watching right now? What are we seeing? The Overlord is going to come in and scout this, and he's going to see a second tech lab on the racks. And where do we go from? What's the purpose of this tech lab? I don't know. I don't know. Oh my god, okay. As Stim is on the way, a couple of more racks are thrown down. As soon as this Overlord dies, we do see the production get underway here. As we do have a Liberator in the main base. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Some lava is going to be going down. No drones. Very quick reaction there by Caleb, but at the same time, the Hellions are going to dive into the mirror line, and they're going to roast everything here. 6 drones go down. And the Hellions, they're not done. They want a little bit more. They go straight to the natural as well. Ooh. Oh my god. It isn't just going to be 6, it is going to be 12 drones. Meanwhile, the drones in the main base. Oh my god, the spore's finished? Caleb falling apart here to the unorthodox, inefficient opener of Dolan. 17 drones go down. 17 drones and 2 additional spores were made. So really 19 drones in total, as well as all of those links behind this. Dolan is getting his production up and running. This, obviously, he knew exactly what he was doing. And yeah, he's just getting into his tank production. Meanwhile, I have to wonder what Dolan thinks is going on. Like, based off of what he saw, he did see the tech lab researching, so he knows it's going to be bio. Maybe he thought that there was going to be a second factory. I'm going to need to speak to Dolan about this one. Meanwhile, the war is not a war. The things they get on in, ooh, they will knock it on top of the tank, though. They only managed to get a Marine. Not even. Aye. And Dolan is able to establish and get his 3rd base up and running. Again, Caleb doing the best he can to replace all the drones that he just lost. It is going to hinder and hamper his economy. It is going to even slow down his 4th base. Meanwhile, shout out to Steel Mode in the chat. I'm here to cheer for Dolan until I fall asleep. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. See, Steel Mode. It's an add-on swap without the swap. You're not wrong. I'm in full agreement, Steel Mode. After the qualifier, I'm gonna ask Dolan about that one. Meanwhile, we do see Dolan just solidifying his position here at his triangular 3rd base location. He's going for a bit of a double drop on the left-hand side. Behind this, we do see an armory for 2-2. Oh my god, more Raxes are being thrown down. Once again, 2, 4, 6, 8 Raxes. Dolan is going to go for a similar all-in push like he did in game 1. And Caleb has to scout this. He needs to scout this, needs to recognize how many drones he can make and when he should stop that drone production, when he should stop teching, and when he should focus on just nothing but Ling Bane. Meanwhile, we do have the Marines pushing on forward here, just throwing for a little bit of creep. Oh, they do. Oh my god! Oh. They do focus on one of the queens. They do target down some of the Banelings, but a Baneling does connect nonetheless. It looks like 2 Marines, 3 Marines will go down. Oh. Almost gets the queens from over the rocks. Jesus Christ. And this is going to be a very strong timing here with 2-2. Again, just like the previous game, 8 Raxes are now complete. We're going to see Mass Marine behind this. Caleb has to be careful. He has teched up into a Hydra Den. He is getting Hydras, which is not really what he wants right now. Caleb up to 67 drones. As long as he doesn't drone up from here, he's going to be okay. He just has to make sure he's patient and doesn't make too many workers. Uh-oh. Caleb's about to be supply blocked. Caleb is supply blocked. Caleb can't get supply. He needs Link Bait, Poppy. He needs it. We see a couple of links coming in from the right-hand side for a little bit of surround, but ooh, they get caught out by these tanks. Dolan fully aware of their position. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to be able to stim on forward here. Going to try and bait out some of these Banelings. Ooh, hot pick up there. Not losing a single Marine there. 2 said Banes. Spoke a little bit too soon. 1 Bane does get a connection. Meanwhile, we do see a little bit of a Ling run by here at the 3rd base, but we have a full wall of Lings. Aren't going to find too much damage at all. Oh, they go for a surround. Oh, and it looks like they will not get the tank. Dolan rotating over towards the right-hand side instead. We have plenty of Ling Bane, though. Dolan's going to have a hard time breaking on through. There are a lot of tanks behind us. Looking at the unit tab, we have 5 tanks. My god. And Liberators are coming in behind. Meanwhile, the Ling Bane rolls on forward. Decent Baneling connections. The splits are good, but it may not be good enough. The Banelings, oh, they do get some more connections towards the end, but there just wasn't enough Ling Bane. And this is where Hydras are not what you want. A lot of gas invested in these Hydras, and they just haven't really been able to pay for themselves. 2-2 on the horizon. More Banelings are on the way, but this hatchery will fall. Tanks are repositioning. More Marines are steaming on forward. They're rushing across the map as fast as they can. Oh god, the Banelings, they just cannot engage, and Caleb has to go up the space. He doesn't want to, but he has to. And now even Libs come in. And those were the last of the Banelings. Well played, gets called. Dolan once again with the 8 racks is able to break the Zerg player, and he takes the series 2-0. GG, well played. Oh. Oh, yeah. GG. Congratulations there to Dolan as he does take the series in the end. Very similar strategies in both games, but he got there in different ways, to be fair. Bearing in mind that in the first game, Dolan started off with a BC opener. A BC opener that honestly didn't really do too much damage. This game, he had an easier time. Caleb didn't drone up anywhere near as much, and he didn't tech up anywhere near as much either. So Caleb had a better response in game number 2, but a lot of what happened and why Dolan was able to snowball is that it took a long time for Dolan to get up to that drone count. If you remember, he lost 19 drones. He lost 19 drones in the early to mid game, and that really slowed him down. And it's something that it's not obvious towards the end, but so much lava was spent rebuilding those drones. He may as well have droned up to like 72, you know, or even 80 at that point. So much lava spent on his economy, slowing down his upgrades, slowing down his army. And GG gets called. Dolan moves on to the next round.